Am I confused? Have we deported American citizens because they're black or brown?
Yes, actually. Yes, there are several sitting in prisons around the
world. They have rolled it back, with the exception of the United States and Canada, and it would not be the first time we have redefined amendments.
They didn't?
California is now a sanctuary city. It used to be
a state, not a city.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is my series on dog whistle racism and how racism affects black people. Years black people have talked about white folks say things, they behave a certain way, it's racism, and white people would tell us we're crazy. Well, here we have Jillian Michaels, who's popping her feet in her mouth and toes is coming out all over again, being racist as hell. And we uncovered this first with Lizzo, but we'll get to that in a minute. Let's finish watching what was going on CNN, and then we'll break that down. May I remind you guys to follow me on my YouTube channel, Politics of Being Black. Get the newsletter, beacons.ai/politics of being black. Let's see what else the hell this fit bitch had to say, amongst other people that was on the turn.
I think it seems pretty clear based on how the law of this country works is that if something is in the Constitution, you don't like it, you want to change it, you can change the Constitution. There is a process for that. Why not change the Constitution?
Well, isn't there also another pathway? Couldn't the Supreme Court redefine? There's this very specific term in the 14th Amendment that talks about being under the jurisdiction of.
I think it's very telling that you use the word redefine.
Well, but if we redefine the Second Amendment as well, we went from militia to private gun owners.
If the Constitution says in plain text what it says, why would the Supreme Court have to redefine it?
Well, here's why. Because this, in truth, was not intended for people to come over and Russian oligarchs to come over and have their baby here to essentially buy American citizenship. It wasn't intended to incentivize illegal immigration. It was for slaves after the Civil War. That's what it was intended for. And it's been exploited. Just one moment. And in pretty much every other country in the Western world, they have rolled it back, with the exception of the United States and Canada. And it would not be the first time we have redefined amendments.
The idea that we retroactively would revoke citizenship from millions of people who are now probably second and third generation Americans because Donald Trump decided he doesn't like the way that it's written.
At the time when conservative jurists and scholars believe that you first look at the plain language of the Constitution before you do anything else. The plain language is quite plain, and yet you have this now desire to reinvent the language of the Constitution that is way out of bounds for conservatives.
John?
I mean, the only thing Donald Trump hates more than immigrants is the Constitution and the Bible that protects them. And it's worth pointing out he's our only president to have hired undocumented immigrants in 2 different centuries to avoid paying a living wage to an American worker. If they wanted the border crossings to stop, they would go after the employers. There's a gigantic...
Donald Trump also is allergic to good makeup. He's allergic to good hair, and he damn sure is allergic to losing weight. But this video is about Jillian Michaels and her utter ridiculousness. Now, if I was MAGA or if I was someone on the Fox News show, I would tell her to shut up and go eat a protein bar. But she's entitled to her opinion. And sometimes opinions are based in fact, and sometimes they're not. Now, how she tries to couch this so that it doesn't sound as racist, so that she sounds like she's center line, trying to be pragmatic, is that she said it was for the slaves. But she forgets how the Statue of Liberty got here. She forgets about all the immigrants that came into Ellis Island. She forgets the very history of people that was coming here and those children born here after slavery was done. She forgets about all that shit. And now, don't just think I'm casually picking on her, because this is not the first time my little racist dog spidey senses was tingling. Bing, 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 bing. Let me remind y'all about what happened with Lizzo. Take a look at this.
Jillian Michaels is doubling down.
I meant it. I meant every word.
The famed personal trainer caused a firestorm last week after making these comments about the singer Lizzo.
Why are we celebrating her body? Why does it matter? That's what I'm saying. Like, why aren't we celebrating her music? Because it isn't going to be awesome if she gets diabetes.
The online reaction against her was swift and intense.
What do you say to these people who call you a fat shamer?
I would say this. Number one, I was an overweight kid. So think of me as though we're in AA, right? And I'm the person that's been sober 20 years. I'm going to be your best sponsor because I understand this thing from every angle.
Michaels says she hopes to continue pushing good health with her app, My Fitness by Jillian Michaels.
My job is to say, this is the information. This information is backed by science.
By the way, she says she's a big fan of Lizzo as a singer.
I truly regret that she became the example of this argument regarding body positivity and health and where the two intersect. And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. It still doesn't change my position on the issue.
Lord have mercy. Ladies and gentlemen, she is trying to couch health under the guise of being racist, to some degree, body shaming, and she's trying to make it sound okay. The shit is not okay. Do you know how long Black women's bodies have been ridiculed? Lizzo, although I agree that we need to have a conversation about the health of Americans, but that is as a whole. She picked Lizzo to pick on. Why she didn't talk about Adele when she was fat? Why she didn't talk about Melissa McCarthy? I love them both, by the way, and I don't give a damn about their size. I want them to be healthy. She could have couched it totally different, but she didn't. Our Black women have been ridiculed for their body, and then we see women trying to imitate parts of their body, going getting concrete put in their asses, and then we ridicule them again. And all Lizzo was trying to do is tell people to have a little bit of confidence in who you are and work toward getting to your goal. And that was the song she was talking about, not to mention the racist undertones. And for white people who listen to this, the ones on the progressive side, I don't have to tell y'all about racism. You already know. But for your friends that are in a bubble and they always think we claim racism and it's not there, and they don't understand how racism hurts us, go remind their asses that racism prevents Black people from getting homes. It prevents Black people from getting fair wages. It prevents not even just Black people. So let me take that back. It prevents a mirage of ethnic people from getting the best that they can get from America. Think of it like this. The goalpost is here for white people. And as every other group gets closer, their goalpost moves up, because in between them and the goalposts of the minorities are these intrinsic barriers that people put in place just simply based on the way they look in terms of melanin in their skin, in terms of the way their hair is. And so to hear Jillian Michaels get up here and try to circumvent basically that I just don't really care about minorities, when she is in a class herself, she's a lesbian. And not to mention her parents immigrated here too. And she's got the audacity to be talking about somebody else. Man, get a life. Ladies and gentlemen, let's end racism. When you end racism, you help lift the boat of everybody. Share this with your friends. Let me know what you think. And have you guys seen the falling out of MAGA? Andrew Schultz is now talking about he likes Bernie. And then we got Joe Rogan over here having a fit. Do I believe either one of them? Fuck no. It's just convenient for them right now to be acting like they want a Democrat, especially Joe Rogan. He went on to say that the Democrats lied about Joe Biden's dementia and that we need to put out a centrist Democrat. Well, Joe Rogan, that's the fucking problem with the Democratic Party right now. Nobody has had the courage to stand on their convictions and fight for the middle class, because the centrist Democrats are controlled by the same dark money that controls MAGA and Republicans. We need more candidates like Bernie. We need more candidates like AOC, more Jasmine Crockett's, more Mamdani. We need them because they're not beholden to corporate interests. And if you don't watch it, influencers, you see MAGA is already going after network cable, shutting them down, kicking them out of press rooms, not letting them be in the White House, even with a press kit. You don't think they'll come after your ass? Especially y'all folks like Schultz and Joe Rogan, who have some of the biggest podcasts in the world. They will come shut you down if you start talking about them. And to Joe Rogan, a dementia-riddled Joe Biden is 15 times better than a pamper-wearing, bad hair, bad makeup, orange pumpkin looking Trump who can do nothing on his own but complain. Can't even read past a 4th grade level. I'll take Biden and his dementia any day. And so y'all let me know what you think about all these different things going on as we try to pull the pieces together, form a coalition to fight what's going on, get ready to get those midterms. I've just crossed over 4,000 new subscribers on my new Politics of Being Black YouTube channel. Thank you, everybody. Let's push me to 10,000. Come join me live when we go. We pop up live usually Tuesdays at noon and usually Thursdays at noon. And then we're putting up content each and every day. Go ahead and subscribe to that Politics of Being Black newsletter, beacons.ai/. You can find out about everything I'm involved with, from movies to social media to all my podcast links. Until that next Sexy as Hell video, I'm out.
I'm up early for the dealers come out. Everybody is outside till the killers come out. You ain't eating, you just act full. I'm impactful. Dozen funerals in a month. I got that pull. I will give it to niggas in all rap forms. Ignatius out right now on all platforms.